how would you like to live your life? That's a very good question to start with. How do I want to live my life from here and forward? I want to be a part of that change and help pushing that change forward. Not many people want to discuss the consequences of our approach to this pandemic, right?
So, what are the various positive and negative from the various technologies are happening during this current situation and times?
Yeah, I think there's two sides of it, because the first side is say, and that's also all the tech are pushed forward, so to speak. So you find out that I don't have to travel 25 hours to get to US for a single meeting. I can actually just do a Skype call or a Zoom call or Google Meet, whatever it is, right? And that's a beautiful thing, because it changed culture, right? Also my own culture in it. The flip side is that I don't believe in a world where we don't interact.
In person.
Yes. It's the interaction between people that brings love forth, that brings true human relations. You cannot do that through a Skype call or Zoom call or whatever it is. You cannot do that. You cannot build that. You need to be together. Real, true human interaction. By the way, also one of the flip sides of social media. But there's also many advantages with that. We just need to have the balanced perspective on it, or balanced view on it, right? So we should not stop traveling the world, that's my point. But you can be more intelligent and balanced in your decision making before you sit your feet on an airplane to go 25 hours to San Francisco, say. So things are changing also there, no doubt about it. But we should interact with each other, and we should certainly interact across nations, across cultures. Because it's through the connection with people, other cultures, other beliefs, other way of seeing life and reality across nations that brings true peace to the world. Because you don't bomb your friends. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You bomb those you can relate to. So when the future will bring that we actually know our, can I say, brothers and sisters, even though I'm not religious, you never bomb them. You never do any harm to them. You'd never make a decision here that will impact very negatively here, say the pandemic again. You can do that because you just focus on yourself, or maybe your own community, or maybe your own country people, right? But when we think as a global human family, you never do that. Then you'll be pushed to take the whole picture, as we talked about before, into consideration. So the point here is we should not create a world where we stop interacting with each other. And social media and online meeting is not enough for that. It's a part of it, and it do the work faster, because you are interacting to a certain degree. You are learning about this guy, this girl, woman, from another culture or from another country or from another belief. So you are to a certain degree, but we should keep on traveling the world. That's very important, in my opinion, for many reasons, but this is one of the most important reasons. Here is also one of the beauties of the human mind, or mindset. Mind, I would say. When we are pushed to it, we become very flexible. So we navigate in the space, finding the possible route always. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that means a situation like this are pushed, and it becomes your new reality, new normal, you could say. And you navigate in it. And you're flexible, you have to. And one of the things are, you're changing your strategy if you're a business, for example. You're changing your revenue streams if it's necessary. You are changing the way you produce, or the way you sell, or the way you market, or whatever it is, right? You change because you have to be flexible. That's actually one of the very good things about businesses in general. No, maybe not in general, but many businesses, I would say, many entrepreneurs have that approach. Otherwise, they wouldn't be an entrepreneur. But so they are quite flexible. If not, they have to learn it. Because that's how you survive, and how actually, even though it's not about survival, it's the way you actually also scale your business, because it's a way that you see new ways of doing business, changing the strategy slightly, or even more than slightly, even big time changing the strategy or how you execute things that scale your business, that develop your business to the next level. So that's good, but it also, in a pandemic like this that hits all of us across the globe, 7.8 billion people, right? Whether you like it or not, you have to approach it with that same mentality, right? You have to have that flexibility in your approach, and a part of it is you, for example, take the Danes as an example. I know they don't represent the globe, the Danes are way too lucky to compare with anyone, maybe not anyone, but a lot of the human family around the globe. But take them as an example. They love traveling.
Okay.
They love going on vacation. So they love travel to other countries and so forth. That's a part of the culture in Denmark for many families. What do? You cannot travel. Then you get the best out of where you are.
Yeah.
So without, I'm not saying that no Danes have, the Danes are also debating a lot about how we should approach all these things we're discussing here about the challenges, the pandemic and all that. But what do? Yeah, it's your new normal, it's your new reality for now. So you travel within your own country.
Yeah.
So in Denmark, you have seen a way more local, domestic travel, traveling. So that's also a part of the beauty, right? That instead of just sitting back in your own house and be unhappy, you find a way forth. And I'm pretty sure it's the same in India or in Indonesia or other, maybe not about the traveling, but then other parts of it, we're pushed into this new reality, whether we like it or not. And we have to adapt to it. I'm not saying that we should accept it and just accept status quo. We should learn from it, as we discussed. But this is your new normal right here, right now. What do you do? And it's the same for the business, as I said. It's exactly the same thing for business. It is your new normal, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Do you want to survive? Do you want to keep your hand under your employees? Or do you just want to give up and say, oh, that was it. We close. All employees out. The business is gone. No, you adapt, you change, you do what is necessary to save lives, man. As a leader, as an entrepreneur, whatever, a business owner. You do that, but of course also because you're motivated to survive, that the business survive, right? So this is some of the things that are the beautiful part, or extreme challenging part, but also the beautiful part of crisis and these challenges is that. But it shows how strong the human mind and the human being is in the end of the day. We adapt, we change, we are flexible, We do what is necessary.
So what do you think the future of humanity is there after the pandemic ends?
All those doom prophets around the globe, and I'm also counting some of the experts, they are simply not right about humanity are meeting doom, are meeting disruption. Elon Musk is not right about that.
Okay.
We don't have to move to Mars. Seen from another perspective, if we really have, and I believe he's right about that, if we can start up Mars, you know what I mean, create that atmosphere and all that on Mars, if we are able of doing that, traveling all those kilometers all the way to Mars and start up a community on Mars, then we're also able to restart this globe.
True.
So, no, humans are survivors. I'm not saying that we should not care about problems and meet the challenges we have, from climate changes to poverty and all that. Certainly, that's our obligation. It's our duty to take responsibility for our beautiful planet and each other, by the way, humanity. So we should. But at the same time, we should not lose faith in humanity. Because we are so strong and we are able of doing things that are amazing. Just look down in history, or just look around you, and you see it every single day, the beauty of the human heart and mind.
True.
You see it, you meet it all over the world. We can really bring beauty. We will bring beauty to this planet and humanity. I'm very certain about that, even though I'm not religious. I am from a Christian tradition because I'm from Denmark, you could say, but not from a religious home. I'm not raised in a religious home, but I normally call it what we do, what the human family will do and are doing is bringing heaven to earth. And that is actually also, changing the objective, you could say, because many people believe, whether you're Christian or Muslim or many other beliefs, kind of think we are letting life behind, earth behind, and then move into some kind of state you could call heaven, or you could call paradise, or you could call nirvana, or whatever, But in my, whatever you call it, since I'm not religious, but belief, if we should talk about these big words, these big states of being, let's call it that, then the reality is, no, we're bringing all that to earth. It's not something we are leaving after life. No, our obligation, our duty as a human being, as a part of this human family and a part of this beautiful planet, is to bring heaven, paradise, whatever you call it, whatever tradition you come from, down to earth.
Yeah.
So it becomes a fantastic, amazing, beautiful place to live for all people and for all nature. That's our responsibility, I believe. And we are doing that.
So can you give some tips to our audience how during this pandemic situation they can keep a better mentality and how they can handle their emotions during this time of crisis?
If you approach it, I would say, negatively, or from the approach that it's doomsday or a state of unhappiness or whatever you will call it, that's actually the place to start. How can you change your approach to the whole situation? And that's not the same as saying you should just blind yourself and stop wishing for change or whatever it is. You can actually do both. Remember, wishing for change is a bigger objective and is rather mental, meaning it's irrational, you could say. Being in a state of unhappiness and the feeling of doom, the feeling of fear even, that's emotional.
Yeah.
Can you see that? So, or do I agree that, I don't know whether you do that, but But in my opinion, that's an emotional side of you.
That makes you stress.
Yeah, that it's two different things. The mental level, the rational, the thoughts are different level within you than your emotions. It's two different things. When you begin to approach yourself as that dual, it's not the same. It's two different things. But all of it happens within you. You can also begin to approach yourself and your life and reality in another way. Because you'll understand that from your mental level, your thought level, where you think, you can use that part of you to develop and get your emotions into a better state.
Okay.
Do
Yeah.
you get that? So you have a very strong tool within yourself that can get your emotions in order. And from there, get your emotions to the next level. Remember, your emotions are not you. They're just a part of you. You are not a product of your emotions.
Okay.
Your emotions are a product of you. That means that you are in charge of your emotions. And that means that you can develop your emotions after your will. If you get that right as a human being, you begin to create a life of mastery, I would say. Because you slowly begin to master your own emotions. So you begin to use your emotions after will. And that means you become a master of your life. And that means to tap into your specific question. At a time like this, you're given so much space, so to speak, right? Lockdowns, restrictions, everything. You have a lot of freedom. Many people, not all, but many people has been pushed into this. But all of us have been pushed into this, but a lot of the people around the globe, maybe especially in the Western world though, but a lot of people, millions of people, has got a kind of free space of freedom, more time with themselves.
Yeah.
This gives you a fantastic opportunity to develop these things within yourself. And understanding that you are not your emotions. You are the one who control or steer your emotions. And you can use your will and your thoughts, so to speak, to actually do that. That will help you. When you develop those parts of you, that will help you in any situation, whether it's a pandemic situation of fear it creates. Because fear is also just an emotion. Remember that. Fear is an emotion. It's not a thought. It's an emotion. But all kinds of emotions. And don't misunderstand me here. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that emotions are bad. I'm just saying that you are not your emotions. And I think a lot of people don't know that. That's my experience. They actually think or believe that they are their emotions, so they should just live out their emotions. But when you're living out your emotions, you just have to understand one thing. Emotions has its own life on its own. That means if you think you should live out your emotions, like just be your emotions, whatever your emotions show you, you are actually not true to yourself, because the emotions are not you, they're just a part of you, and they have their own life and their own agenda, you could say, which is separated from you as a being. That's very much down to psychology also. And some might even say spirituality, whatever belief. But But the point here is that you're way more than you probably believe. And you are way more fantastic and with a way bigger potential than you might believe. And we all are. And that's a true beauty of the human being. You have the opportunity in this free space that has been given to all of us, or a lot of us, during this pandemic, to begin to investigate, I would call it, or research yourself and develop yourself and develop these parts of yourself. So you begin to develop yourself into a state where you are not just your emotions anymore. That the emotions are not controlling you or steering you, but you are actually the one in charge that are steering the emotions. That means less stress, less fear, less everything. And that means you become the master of your life. That's the end product. There's no end, but that's the product of this development. You become the master of your own life. And you begin to create the life you actually want to, because you are not just a product of your emotions, oh, now I feel this, and now I feel that, and now I feel this, and now I feel that. You actually become that who steer everything. I want to go in that direction. So now we move, emotions, thoughts or not, it doesn't matter. Now we move this way. And you begin to become the creator of your life, a true creator of your life. Whatever you want to create, that's not the point here. That is very individual, whatever you want to create, right? But you can become a true creator, a true master of your own life, if you begin to understand these different layers within you, that you are not your emotions, you are not even your own thoughts, okay? That might sound crazy, but you are not even your own thoughts. You are the one thinking, you are the one feeling, but you are not that. It's two different things. Beginning to look at yourself from that perspective, this pandemic situation, because of the free space, the freedom that has been given to so many millions of people around the globe, gives a huge opportunity for the individual to begin to look at these parts of yourself and begin to develop yourself into that being you want to become, and therefore also creating that life you dream of. So that's really one of the opportunities we talked about earlier in this conversation. That's a huge opportunity. Take it. So I would say that's tool number one, but it's given to you as a gift from this pandemic, or to a lot of people. I know it's not all, but a lot of people has been given this opportunity because they are still supported. They still have work, maybe, but they have more free space or freedom, right? They're more in control of their own time.
Me times.
Yeah, exactly. So, and at the same time, you can say, I know a lot of people out there are sitting, looking in the mirror, so to speak, or looking within themselves. Say, why did I let this fear take over of my whole approach to life? I mean, I know a lot of conscious people who are actually looking at themselves and say, why did I let fear in that way? It's easy now maybe to look at it from that perspective, not when it started, right? Because a lot of people was in fear in the beginning, because the media told us that we would all die, right? So it's understandable, but the point is, beginning to asking these bigger questions, whether it's about, an emotion like fear, or it's emotion like unhappiness, or whatever it is, right? Changing that, beginning to look inside yourself and look into how can I actually develop myself to a better human being, to being in a better state mentally and emotionally. And it starts with, I believe it starts with beginning to look at yourself from another perspective, and actually have the both have the faith, I would say, but also have the courage. Courage is very important here. Have the courage to actually look at those deeper parts within you that are not necessarily very satisfying to look at, right?
Yeah.
Because we contain so many things, and all of it is not just beauty. There are also parts of us that are a real bad guy, so to speak, if you understand that.
Yeah.
That there are emotions and parts of us that are not. It's something we have to deal with, all of it. So we should not turn our back to ourselves, so to speak, whatever that we might contain. But if we don't have courage to look at all parts of ourselves, not just the good guy, but also the bad guy within ourselves. Not just the angel within, also the devil within. If we don't have the courage to look at that, we actually don't get the real opportunity to change ourselves to a better human being, or whatever you want to change yourself to, right? So if you really want to walk the path of development, let's call it that, then you need to train yourself, and you train your approach to yourself, that you also begin to look at those deeper parts within you that might be more towards the devil or the wolf than the angel. From what I said before about that focus, you have that opportunity, you have to look within yourself and begin to develop your whole being, so to speak. Of course, there are some tools that I use, and I can certainly recommend. One of them is meditation, and that has really been one of the most life-changing tools I have had, or I have used or experienced in my life. So I have, to be honest, I have meditated or used meditation in one way or another for close to 30 years. And maybe when I was very young, it wasn't a daily or weekly thing, but when I grew a bit older, it actually became a natural part of my daily process, you would say. And so meditation is a very strong tool to actually also help you with those processes I talked about before.
Yeah.
But in general, a good tool for you to align better and connect better with what you need to connect with, whether it's your vision or yourself, or you can really use meditation as a strong tool to change your state of being. And a third thing is, which I also use, go for a walk if possible. Go for a walk in nature. Especially if you like walking, go for a walk in nature and just let that nature become a part of you, so to speak, and do your thought processes there. It's really bringing your state of being into a better alignment or balance, harmony. It does for me anyways, and so go for a walk, especially in nature, I would say, is really strong. And otherwise I would say, in general, do what is necessary for you to do to be in the best state you can be.
Do you have some last thoughts which you want to share with our audience?
Change never comes by itself. It comes by a decision made by you. So if you want to change your life, you need changing yourself. but it doesn't happen without you doing the work. And the work you do starts with a decision. So make that decision, set up a proper strategy and plan for how you can actually begin to integrate this change, and then do the necessary work for you to make those changes you want to see in your life and within yourself.
Thanks a lot for this lovely conversation, Jonathan, with you.
Thank you.
And it is so much positive, especially in this, the situation. The world is still not open up, and still a lot of people are having various level of stress due to various different in work culture as well as due to the pandemic. Hope this positive talk will help our viewers also to get a lot of insight. And if you like the episode, I would request all the viewers to click the like button and subscribe for our upcoming episode. Stay tuned with us, and very soon Mr. Jonathan Tjoa Algreen is going to come with a beautiful program in Business for Planet. Stay tuned, and see you next time. Bye.